2018 has been a great year so far for automakers, with all manufacturers posting double-digit growth in monthly sales. So will this trend continue, or can a high base catch up? Let's get in via Guleria of Honda Motorcycles and Scooters India, the country's highest-selling scooter manufacturer, to first talk us through the outlook for two-wheelers. Good morning, Mr. Guleria. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start by asking you if you could give us some details on what the month of June has been like. We've seen across the board double-digit growth in sales. Can you give us your sales breakup?
Yeah, in fact, the Q1 for us has been the best ever sales in any quarter since beginning of our operations in India. I'm talking only in terms of volumes, I'm not talking about the percentage growth. So it means a lot, and it's a significant number for us. Despite, there have been some initial pressures when we started the year. Scooters were showing a lower growth in terms of percentile growth as such. But now scooters are also back. We did share last month that it was a temporary phenomenon, and now the scooters are also back into double-digit growth. So we foresee that this sales momentum will continue, and Q2 is supposed to be a better quarter compared to the Q1. That's what we foresee in the market. There are positive sentiments, and especially from the rural sector, it is the consumer sentiments are positive in terms of buying intentions also. Agrarian economy is also acting as a tailwind for the two-wheeler industry. So we expect, because the Q2 is just before the onset of festivals in the country, so we expect good volumes coming in the second quarter as well.
Good morning, Mr. Guleria. Just you haven't told us what your sales numbers are. If you can tell us how much sales did Honda Motorcycles do in the month of June?
Yeah, we have done around 5.7 lakh numbers, including domestic and export. Total volume of 5.7 lakh, which was close to 30% of growth compared to last June.
And what's the breakup there, motorcycle, scooters?
In case of motorcycles, we have roughly 68%, 67 to 68% of our total growth coming from total volume coming from scooters in our total volume of 5.7 lakh.
Okay, Mr. Guleria, you just said that you had one of the best quarters that you had ever since you started operations in India. What were the main factors why, and you're saying second quarter will be even stronger, but what was the main reason that, scooter demand, motorcycle demand has been so strong across the board this time around? What are the factors?
First, I would like to put it on our own capacity. We have been struggling in last several years on additional capacity. There have been pent-up demand, especially for our scooter range, and we were struggling with our capacity. We have been able to add capacities, and also with some internal efficiency up in our manufacturing facilities across 4 plants in the country. So we were able to build up on capacity. So that is one. Second is now overall both motorcycles and scooters, they are showing a growth. Earlier motorcycles were, as an industry, overall industry, they were struggling on total volumes. But last 6 months or so, we have seen there is a traction in the overall industry from motorcycle segment as well. So that is also helping the total volumes to go higher. Now rural is also contributing, and the good part is, as far as Honda is concerned, all our 5 regions in which we have divided the country are showing good sales volume. We in fact in June, all the regions, 5 respective regions, have shown high double-digit growth in volume. So all cylinders firing, I would say, is a very, very positive, and the demand is being led mainly from the south and the eastern regions.
Are you seeing pricing, because what happened was Honda came out with the release, I'm sorry, not Honda, Hero Moto came out with the release indicating that they have taken a price hike in a lot of variants of their motorcycle. Are you seeing pricing power coming back to the motorcycle companies, to the scooter companies, and have you as a company taken any kind of price hike?
See, obviously, we all know there are some inflationary pressures which are there on account of primarily the raw material prices going up as well as the fuel prices. So we need to be a little cautious as far as the prices are concerned, because I don't think so the manufacturers can able to, they would be in a position to absorb all this price increase, and ultimately it's going to be passed on to the consumers. We did pass on some prices to the market in the beginning of May, and even in the opening of this month itself, there is some price hike which we have passed on account of increase in the raw material as well as the fuel prices.
Described, Mr. Guleria, the reasons for why you've had a very good first quarter. Can you talk us through what you're doing to ensure that this growth sustains even in the face of, let's say, higher prices? The next 3 months or 6 months, whether it's from a distribution point of view or it's from a product point of view, what is it that you will be exciting the market with?
First of all, we have been able to introduce new models in last year, especially in the last 6 months of the previous financial year. And like in Grazia, and then it was for Grazia as a 125cc premium sporty scooter, and then followed with the X-Blade in the 160cc motorcycle segment. And both these models in scooter as well as in motorcycle were having some of the first time features introduced in the segment itself. So now, since these models are already there in the market, we have been able to build up more awareness. We expect, and we are seeing the results in terms of volumes coming in from these new models. So new model launches and our extensive expansion which is happening in terms of network, because we are still unrepresented in many parts as far as the last mile connectivity is concerned. So we would be taking brand Honda in terms of physical availability for the touch and feel for the product closer to the market in terms of sales and service. So this is the second thing, backed by our increased production capacity, which we have been able to do across our 4 plants in the country. So production capacity, new model launches, and extensive reach out in terms of network and availability of our product and services is what is our game plan to increase our volumes in the coming times. And we are confident that this second quarter, because we are now entering into...
Sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but if you could put some numbers to that.
I'm sorry, it's too early to share.
I understand that your dealer network is roughly about 5,000 versus Hero's 6,500 plus, and Bajaj comes in number 3rd. So are you, by how many more dealer points are you hoping to be able to expand your network? Are we looking at any new product launches in the next 6 months? So, any more specifics that you could give us from that point of view?
So starting with network, I would like to share with you that we have now close to 5,700 plus touch points and network across the country, and we plan to take it to 6,000 by end of this fiscal year. So this is as far as the network is concerned. And in terms of volumes, we are confident that we will be able to consistently maintain the double-digit growth in our numbers.
Mr. Guleria, you deal both on the scooter side and the motorcycle side. Are interactions and a lot of reports that indicate that the traction for the scooter market is growing at a much faster pace and it's outstripping the demand for the motorcycle. What's the on-ground situation? Is that something that you are also seeing?
Yeah, obviously, as a market leader in scooters with close to 60% market share, Honda is leading the scooterization of the country, and we are observing this trend of scooterization across all the states in the country. Even very conservative agrarian economies like Uttar Pradesh or Rajasthan and Bihar, we are seeing there is a penetration of scooters increasing in these states as well. Though compared to the other urban areas or the progressive states like Maharashtra or in Punjab, in Kerala and other southern states, the pace of acceptance of scooter was slower compared to these states. But as a trend, we are seeing it happening across all the states. There is hardly any state where the contribution of scooters have not increased in past few years.
Okay, Mr. Guleria, stay on with us. We want to broad-base this conversation from not just two-wheelers or your company to the entire auto market. And for that, we're joined by Anil Jagtiani, the CEO of Fortpoint Automotive Cars, a very well-known dealer in Mumbai. He joins us on the phone line because I think he's rained out, as they say, unable to reach our camera position as yet. Mr. Jagtiani, you know, it's been a great month of June across the board. What can you tell us about, you know, where consumer demand is coming from, how sustainable this is in terms of pricing, not just for two-wheelers, we've been discussing that with Mr. Guleria, but across the passenger car segment. What is the outlook right now for the next few months?
Well, if you look at the urban markets, Maruti sales has always been better than the other similar brands. If you see, Maruti share has always been retained, and in fact, it's been growing. If you compare to any other launches also, which is happening with other manufacturers. June and July usually are the slowest month in our industry. But in comparison to the previous year, same period, we have had a growth of almost 10% plus. We also feel that, you know, with the coming season from August, July, of course, is going to be usually a low month, but we are looking forward for a better July than last year.
You also deal in two-wheelers, if I understand correctly. What's the consumer outlook been there? We've just been in conversation with Mr. Guleria of Honda Motors, and they were talking to us about, or he was talking to us about how he's had the best first quarter in terms of volume since Honda began operations in India.
In fact, even Hero Moto is doing quite good. This particular quarter has really been good. And in fact, also if you look at the, you know, stocks position, it's quite good. So we feel that, you know, the season, coming season is going to be very good for all of us.
Most of these two-wheeler companies have taken price hikes. Do you see that dampening demand in any fashion?
No, the demand won't affect as such.
We'll go back to Mr. Guleria and talk a little bit more about, you know, some of the new products that we can expect over the next 6 months. Sir, you've also been trying to refurbish the Unicorn brand, haven't you? And the 160 version didn't get as much success as you had anticipated. What's next on the anvil?
And now, as far as this 150cc to 160cc displacement engine motorcycle segment is concerned, we already have now a couple of models. We have 150 Unicorn, which is back, and then 160 is already there, Hornet is there, and then our latest launch, X-Blade. So combined, we are, seeing the fastest growth in terms of percentage growth over the previous year. So we are quite happy with the progress so far, with all these models combined together, giving us a high market share and volume growth in this particular segments.
Mr. Guleria, at least in the urban areas, we're seeing that, you know, there seems to be a lot of shift towards the premium end of the bikes. The way I'm talking about is basically the heavy CC bikes like a Royal Enfield Bullet. So what does Honda have? And a lot of other companies are also trying to get in that segment because the demand is clearly there. What is Honda's strategy there? Are you looking at more bikes in that segment, or are you happy in the mass bike segment only as of now?
New segments are always exciting. We do see consistent growth in the motorcycle segment you just mentioned. So and new model or new product development is always a part of a regular exercise, not only in Honda, in any other company. But I don't think so, it is wise for me to, share anything on what are the new products are being developed and are we looking at this segment. It's, too early to share and become very specific on which segment and which CC or motorcycle or scooter Honda is developing. There would be an appropriate and right time when we can share these plans with you.
Is there a plan to get into such bikes? That's what I'm asking. I'm not saying which are the products, but is there a plan that you all have?
As of now, no.
Okay.
We have Anil Jagtiani back with us. And a quick question, Mr. Jagtiani, you were talking about stocks level at dealerships. What is the inventory level right now across passenger cars as well as two-wheelers? How comfortable are you with this? Has there been any change over the last few months that you want to talk about?
Yes, of course, the inventory levels have increased a little bit. The reason being that we are all looking up for the season. Because also